They just have years and years of FPS experience, but it's all coming down to this. Grand Finals of Sacrifice Ruins of Sarnath will be our first map. Team Liquid and Unlovables North America going head-to-head. It's been an amazing result so far, but only one team will be the first DreamHack champion for Quake Champions.
Yeah, I think it would be great if Unlovables could get off to an excellent start, maybe put some doubt in Team Liquid's mind on this map, because they've been so dominant here on Sarnath.
And they got some early frags, but obviously if you get those early frags before the Soul will respawn, it's not going to be as beneficial. But as you can see, actually, Unlovables, they've been able to take the Soul for now, trying to go towards Obelisk A, but I think they're having to be really careful. Make sure you've got the right guidance. The worst thing you can do is try and drop off the Soul, and I actually love that decision. So many people had piled into A, wait a second, and then go to B. Yeah,
it looks like Team Liquid was making sure he couldn't go that way, so I think Liquid made a decision that, hey, even though they got the Soul, let's make sure we get this Obelisk.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. And here comes the power-up. Team Liquid with the quad damage. That's, even though the slash is quite weak, all you got to do is get one magical shot. However, bot mode quickly swooping in and stealing it away. Team Liquid currently building that percentage, but bot mode's got to be super careful. You know, once you get that quad damage and sacrifice, you do become public enemy number one. If you've got 37 HP, you will die very quickly indeed.
Yeah, it's good shotgun work, though. Very good shotgun work. Even still, putting in some work.
And that's why we see the default shotgun. It's pretty much like the go-to starting weapon. You know, it's some people didn't really, you would never really factor this in, but your close range so consistently, the starting shotgun is your highest source of getting guaranteed damage fresh off the spawn.
And again, we've seen this time and time again from Liquid, using that clutch shield to buy time on the Obelisk, to steal it, pass it out. And once again, they have control on their side. It's a good start for Liquid. I mean, even though they got the Unlovables got that initial steal, they didn't get much off of it, and Liquid seems to be settling in on defense here.
And yeah, we've seen time and time again how much of a brick wall defense Team Liquid like to put up on this Obelisk. It's very difficult to crack into them, and now you've got access to all these different champions, like, you know, like DreamHack's clutch. He's just going to be sitting on that point, wasting time, and allowing you to just simply not take anything. And this is some disgusting nail gun. Finished off Waz with that rail. Fantastic.
Wazzle dazzle.
There you go.
That's it.
Now, he was a little bit late on the uptake, but Sen has got access to the Soul in hand, trying to get there safely, but he's going to be chased down. DreamHack meeting him in the middle. There comes that shield. That's going to waste a ton of time. I mean, realistically, it's going to be so hard. Look at this. Look at how much time he's wasting, and now he's actually got the Soul, just walking in and taking it.
Great play again, DreamHack. They just don't seem to have an answer for his clutch on this map. I've yet to see anybody effectively counter him. He's just such a problem for these teams.
I mean, the fact that DreamHack only just went down there, like, he was able to survive for a significant amount of time. And there we go. There's the drop. It's going to take a little bit of time. And then here comes KGB with that Berserk mode, just trying to get a little bit more of that guaranteed damage. But then here comes the power-up. This is where things get important. Untouchables. Untouchables? Unlovables have access to the protection. Anarchy on protection is going to be fantastic. And there we go. Nice mid-air. And here's the rest of the team to follow through.
Boy, we saw some of that nasty rocket play from him against Stacked as well. And looks like bot mode is just, man, he's unconscious with those mid-air rockets.
Like, his Anarchy in this game mode as well is highly, highly impressive. Like, not just like his execution on, like, you know, getting the kills, but just his pathing, his navigation, knowing when he can uncontestedly get that Soul dropped off. It's just remarkable stuff.
Now, you know, it's interesting to note that although Unlovables, they got the power up, they got a pretty much full time on their protection. KGB still at the very end. They got the steal, but they didn't get much percentage off of that. So you got to give a lot of credit to Liquid for their pursuit, the delay tactics, keeping people on their Obelisk. Doing a great job.
And on Ruins of Sarnath too, it's not like this is one of those maps where you can manually throw the Soul off and force the reset, which will just kind of like automatically waste time. On Ruins, you really need to just keep that pressure on and just not allow the Soul to be in transit at all.
Yeah, here they go. Good job. See if they can mount a defense right now. It just seems like anytime here comes, oh, that's it. Keep that clutch off of the point. That's the big thing here for them.
I mean, he is going to be like the elephant in the room, really. You know, historically, in some game modes, dealing with like that tanky champion is normally not the good idea. You want to deal with the damage dealers. In Quake Champions, all of these champions can do the same damage. Who do you prioritize?
Again, just that clutch. Look, he has just so much of a stack. It's causing them problems. He didn't even use the shield that time.
Yeah, and on the subject of his stack, I think that's going to benefit him too, is the fact that fresh off the spawn, he's got pretty much way more health than anyone else in this map.
Yeah, I remember we kind of touched on, I can't remember a previous match where I mentioned that, you know, in these team games, you're going to run into people who have limited stacks because of the nature of team games. They're going to be wounded or just haven't had the chance to pick anything up. So having that initial stack is big.
I think that was actually quite good for Rafa to line up those super nails, was he kind of threw the Soul away, and then when the rest of the team piled into the Soul, they're not really dodging his nails in that situation.
Yeah, it's the ball. And they had their backs turned, so it's
speaking of which, there's a rail in the back. See you later, Waz. But KGB, he's got the quad damage.
He's got quad, he's got a decent stack. All he needs is some team support. Even though he has health and stuff, you got to be careful about getting mobbed by the enemy team. Oh, so you always want somebody near you from your team just to pick it up in case you fall.
Now the quad damage, it's likely to run out before they reach there, but it should at the very least allow them to get back safely. No one's really contesting. Can he get at least one more shot? C-Cap goes down, and then a nice double kill. Nice maximization of that quad damage.
Oh, my.
So, punches one side, shield wall the next. I mean, that's guaranteed.
Nice. This is good defensive run. Team Liquid really pulling away here. I'm really trying to think what Unlovables could do to turn this around. They're going to be hard pressed. I don't know. The hang is really disruptive. I don't know what they can do right now. I
mean, it just seems to be a consistent thing, right? No one really has had an answer for how Liquid are approaching this map yet. And pretty much every time they go on Ruins, it looks like it's been a free win for them. And we can't speak too soon because the Soul currently is not being dropped off. But you just got to look at the percentage differences. Team Liquid are looking at very, very dominant right now. 11% left to go. And that, in the blink of an eye, could just go down. You know, you'd be surprised how fast that percentage can climb in Sacrifice.
But as we saw earlier, they came back from stacked when stacked at about 89%. So it's certainly in their capabilities. But again, Liquid with a quick steal back in their end.
And because Rafa has such an impressive slash,
yeah,
all they have to do is forget about him for half a second, and he's already going to go from one obelisk to the next. You know, she can just cover so much distance so quickly because of that crouch slide, because of that plasma trail. Kane getting a couple of frags. Is that going to be enough for him to get the soul away, though?
Oh, there was a big steal there.
Yeah, bot mode, he's looking for the safe passage. Unfortunately, actually trying to go in for the injection. That's going to give Waz more than enough time to just quickly pick up the soul and pass it back. We can see C-Cap trying to get away, but is unable to survive, unfortunately. And this is just that tunnel of death.
Yeah, narrow corridor there. Doesn't give you room to navigate, so anybody spamming shots down there is likely to hit somebody.
And a consistent issue Unlovables have been having actually is like, yes, they've got the protection, but with 4% left to go, if they could drop it off under their noses, then it may be a little bit dangerous. C-Cap though with the protection on Sorlag, a massive stack. Very difficult to deal with here. This could be quite a nice little chunk of defense.
Yeah, they really need something here to get them back in this round.
But just look at how much time Dahang wasted there. Like all three people focusing fire, and still the soul goes in his favor.
And that's one of those things. So he puts the shield up, even though he has protection, he's not doing any damage, and he just steals it and throws it out. It's just, I'm waiting to see what team can counter that. And again, it just says a lot about the hang. He's really good with clutch.
Now, the danger is the one time they drop that off, they got 2%. If they drop it off one more time, it's likely to be another 2%, and that's going to be the round. Unlovables cannot afford to make one more mistake. They have to keep this on the obelisk and keep it there. Otherwise, they're not going to win the round at all.
Not even just keeping from making mistakes. They got to make great plays because, you know, Liquid's going to make plays of their own. And just like we see, they're having a problem with defense. It just seems like anytime they get a few percentages going, there's Dahang again with the shield, and out it goes.
And that's going to be round number one, and in quite fitting fashion, it's because Dahang just walks into that obelisk, pops the shield, difficult to deal with, just takes the soul, steals it away, and sneaks it back, and that is the round. Unlovables, they need to answer now. I mean, they haven't got time to mess around. They're one round down already.
Yeah, good start by Liquid. There really wasn't...
Oh, this was so unfortunate. Just what do you do in that situation?
Unlovables had a moment here and there in the match where it seemed like they could get something going, but nothing consistent. It was all Liquid mostly.
And I think that's quite fitting, right? I mean, they're on the winner's side of Grand Finals for a reason. They've been so unchallenged going into this Grand Finals. I mean, that first round was quite foreshadowing, but the tide of the match will always be set by who gets this first. Unfortunately, Dahang just sitting on the point, getting the soul easily with another shield wall. This champion is no joke in Sacrifice.
Yeah, can anybody stop Dahang when he has clutch on this map?
The question of the day, isn't it?
It really is. And it's funny because we see Waz and Rafa, as you said, and then you're not paying attention to Rafa running around with Slash because you're focusing so much on how we deal with clutch.
And the quad damage is going to go into the favor of Team Liquid. And we've seen time and time again how if they can get the soul and drop it off straight away, if they can pretty much get this entire sequence climbing with the power up in hand, it's pretty much like a guaranteed 30%. It's not going to be as extreme now because as you can see the soul sort of going back and forth, but this quad damage is just going to make it so much harder for them to really get anything on deck. Waz is just going to sit up there completely pretty, and hang on, here comes Kane up behind. Can he get out alive?
Oh man, good shooting, but yeah, just too much support from Liquid. Oh man.
And that's a good lead. 26% down already. And the quad damage actually lasting a pretty significant amount of time. You know, it gets that little increase when you collect it after it's been disappeared. Or dropped, I guess is a better term.
And so as usual, good initial start with the Soul. Good quad run to start things off. 30+% to get yourself going in the round. It's the best way to start these sacrifice rounds for your team.
And here comes to hang another time. And just even then, actually, Kane does manage to get the gauntlet. And that is one of the answers to Clutch, just trying to sort of like sneak up behind him. It's likely you might be able to do that in this game mode because his attention will be diverted, but not a constant answer is the gauntlet, but an answer nonetheless. Oh, I mean, that's one answer to Berserk, though. Just get your gauntlet out and rev for days.
Seemed like their team took a lot of damage, though, getting that Soul out of there. I have a feeling Liquid's going to be right back mounting an attack.
I think that's why Rafa is so easy just going there with the gauntlet, right? You know, no doubt they would communicate with their team. Guys, they're weak. And then Rafa's like, well, here comes the gauntlet. Full speed ahead.
Nice plasma trail. Keep pursuit from that main area. He might go back, though. He's going to redirect.
Yeah, trying to be a little bit more unpredictable. You can see how many members there. Maybe wait for the rest of his team to flop. As you can see now, they would communicate. Guys, they've lost 2 people. Let's go in.
Yeah.
To hang still on the point. But Rafa will win that 1 versus 1. Misses the rail, so he's going to be punished heavily here, unfortunately. But Soul remains on Obelisk B.
So 46-0 at this point. You know, excuse me, 46-8.
Don't worry, looks like a 0 from back here. It's totally good. But Unlovables, they've been able to drop it off temporarily. But here comes a power up, and you can sometimes have to ask yourself, have they been able to drop things off? Because attention was diverted towards the power-up. You know, now they haven't got it in their favor. There's the tactical drop-off. Waz now with plenty of health. And there we go. Who's going to stop this man? I don't know.
He's been so impressive at multiple times. Just amazing, this guy. I really do believe this is one of the best pickups recent for any sacrifice team was getting Waz.
And he's been doing so well too. I mean, like, you know, just having that really strong anarchy to believe in when you have, you know, these other 2 or other 3, I guess, talented members of Team Liquid. But then you've got Rafa and Dahang that have so much knowledge in the game. You know, maybe they don't necessarily want to be stuck in that anarchy role. Maybe they want to be a little bit more interesting. Dahang with the clutch, you know, for example, he's able to really put a stamp on something that he knows works, and his team have it to such good effect.
Well, that was big for Unlovables. At least they got the hang down. It looked like he wanted to force his way in there and get another steal, but they really need long defense. They're not out of this yet.
Yeah, they're doing it much better on this Obelisk too. You know, there's some teams, like, even if they don't admit it, that there are some players that will have preferred Obelisk to defend, and on Ruins, this tends to be one that I think teams have a little bit more of a higher success rate on Obelisk A. But here comes to hang for another time.
Wow, just covering that alleyway for his teammates.
I mean, it's just that multi-utility. It's like that shield wall is like a Swiss Army knife. There's so many different forms of usefulness.
Oh, man. Just got the cap.
There's plenty of members on Unlovables, though, so I don't think it's going to be on that Obelisk for very long. The problem is, Team Liquid, I mean, they still remain in the lead.
But not by much. All it takes is a quick cap here, a little defense, and we got this power-up coming in 20 seconds. So whoever gets this quad, I mean, especially if you're on Unlovables, you think, get this quad, go on a nice run, tie this game, maybe take the lead.
But unfortunately, just beautiful LG. Absolutely beautiful LG. And then you can see trying to go in there, Kane with the gauntlet. But I think the mission there was trying to sort of just make a safe passage, clear the way, eliminating all enemies there. But there's the drop-off again. Then here comes the power-up. Now, again, that's why the attention has been diverted. Who's going to win this one?
Looks
Team Liquid. Oh no, Dahang has the quad damage. This is disastrous.
Yeah, initially, I was looking at the icons there. Initially, Unlovables picked it up, but it was quickly stolen by Team Liquid. Now they're, oh man.
Wow.
Oh, they needed that. They really needed the quad steal. Now they can maybe get some offense here.
Yep, I think Kane, that was a magical gauntlet to catch him off guard. Ultimately, you're only really going to be able to focus on one target at a time, and Kane with the cleanup. Dahang soon to follow. Will KGB fall as well? And he does. And there goes the Soul. That was a fantastic little spree, perfectly put to good use.
Yeah, that was a big steal by Kane. Dahang looked like he might go on a nice little run there and really stopped him in his tracks, gauntlet in the back.
But that's what happens. You put all of your attention on Dahang, and then here comes Rafa just sneaking in there, and you're dead before you even have a chance to realize what's happened.
And Slash is so fast. I mean, so he's coming in with the plasma trail behind the shield. It just makes it really tough to deal with. I really like their approach. It's going to be hard. I want to see how a team counters it, if a team can. I haven't seen anybody do it.
Well, they're in the lead, but you said it yourself, right? No, not much. Percentage difference can be easily climbed with just a matter of a few seconds, but Waz, he's going to be patient here, waiting for this mega. Unfortunately, a couple of his teammates will be dropping, so Waz, he's going to sit there pretty until the rest of his teammate respawn. I think getting heavy too. Now, this might be kind of hard to stop him from dropping this off.
Yeah, after getting stacked like that, he's definitely going to make a route. Took a lot of damage to get it there, though.
Yeah, especially if KGB follows in. That was fantastic coordination and just a nice amount of patience displayed.
Yeah, and again, even though he's taking damage, KGB, his teammates backing him up. That's what this mode is all about. You need your teammates to back you up.
And you had the plasma trail going off to hang with that shield wall. This is going to be one difficult to deal with obelisk. And the amount of time it takes for the shield wall to sort of be up and waste that time allows the rest of the team to respawn and get back into the fight. But here comes Kane. Very weak, but has got the soul dropped off temporarily.
Yeah, still 82% already for Team Liquid. We got the protection coming up shortly, so I would say Unlovables really needs to make sure they get this one.
If this protection goes in the hand of Team Liquid, I'd be very much so willing to say this is likely to be a game, but unfortunately they don't have the clutch to stand on the point. CCap, although he's got protection, he's very weak. One more shot might actually send him out, and if they get protection now, which they might do, oh dear.
I was a little surprised Liquid didn't have much of a presence that time at protection, but it worked out for him anyway.
I wonder if it's because they're dedicated so hard towards the soul at that location anyway, they might as well try to dedicate. You know, DreamHack was already piled in, he had his shield all activated, they kind of had to put all of their resources there, but it hasn't really mattered too much. They did manage to steal the protection anyway, and now they're 10% away from getting this first map, and that's half the work done in this grand finals already.
One of the things you can look at in some of these battles, notice how Team Liquid, 2-3 guys will always divert to the same target. They'll all shoot the same target. It's hard to do in a big mass fight like that to coordinate your shots, but it makes a big difference because you'll down people individually very quickly.
And I mean, like in a game like Quake, when everyone's being able to output the same damage, if you're eliminating those targets one by one, the damage output of a team is drastically cut in pieces. 1 more % will send them through. They're going to fight for their lives, but this became a mountain to climb for Unlovables.
Oh, great shotgun work. He still has a shield up as well.
That's going to be that one.
That's going to be it.
That's going to be 1 more %. They comfortably seize what they need in a map 1. I mean, that was their pick, right? You know, Ruins of Sarnath, it's historically been a very strong map for Team Liquid, and that's just going to follow suit 1 more time. And it's just the level of community.
Many times, once you let Liquid get comfortable on defense, very tough to break.
Now, this could be our final map, as we've said, but Blood Covenant, Team Liquid, we saw them play on this yesterday, and it was very scary indeed. The level of teamwork between Rapper and DreamHack, even though it's not surprising, it was still massively commendable.
Yeah, and it's because they do it every time. It just seems like they were just on it.
It's almost like they've played together for years and years.
Yeah, I think that might be it, maybe.
But there's the early league bot mode. There's no one really to head him off, so this Obelisk A is going to be delivered for now, and now it's given them plenty of time to fight for the power-up. If you get an early drop-off, it allows you and the rest of your team to really sort of collect your thoughts. However, bot mode is in a bit of trouble, because I do feel like some of the rest of Unlovables were fighting for this power-up. It has allowed Waz to drop this one off, so minimal percentage for Unlovables. They have put damage, but for how long?
Yeah, they got the quad. Looks like he's got a decent... Oh, he's been whittled down a little bit. Uh-oh. Yeah.
Oh dear, DreamHack comes in and steals it away, but Kane has picked up temporary DreamHack, going straight forward with the crouch slide and the gauntlet. And unfortunately, that just didn't quite work out. Team Liquid, I think they just handled that one so well. Waz with a fat stack and a super shotgun quad to boot. He is going to be dangerous. Oh, see you later, Z-Cap.
Quad gauntlet. You know, one of the things I noticed early on is it seemed like Team Liquid really wanted this obelisk. They just set up defense over here and just let them run to the other one, said, the heck with it. This is the one we want. That's fine. I think that was very much deliberate, and then they went in for the steal after.
You can definitely sort of, you know, hear the comms of, you know, maybe a rapper or someone saying, let them cap. Let them cap, let's get power up, and now we've got the obelisk that we want. And now the defense, I mean, the iron defense that we are currently seeing. Look at that kill feed. Every single frag is blue on red.
It was, man. I can't say enough about, I mean, this is, oh my goodness. Just, come on. Dazzle, Wazzle dazzle.
Oh, yeah, I mean, absolutely right. I mean, just the fights are consistently going in their favor. And if you and your team can essentially, like, you know, essentially win the TDM that is taking place when the Obelisk is here, if they're winning every single fight, you're going to naturally, consistently keep Unlovables behind. And look, 50% in 2 minutes. This has been a fast round.
Yeah, they're just dominating right now. It shows, I think they really did want that obelisk. I think they feel it's the stronger side. And we'll see what happens on this next power-up. It's going to be protection. If Unlovables doesn't get this next one, the protection, they're going to be hard-pressed to win this round.
Yeah, Rafa did try and sort of make a slightly different passage, maybe try and actually keep his bull rush in motion going back. Unfortunately, getting fragged halfway through, which did allow bot mode to kind of get that opening to drop the soul off a little bit earlier than he probably would have wanted to.
Here we go. We got to power up in about 8 seconds here.
They've got to be careful. I think, you know, if Team Liquid can seize this one, then they'll be in heaps of trouble. There's not actually a huge fight taking place just now, but plenty of members conversing now. Team Liquid, all 4 members in hand. DreamHack with a huge stack, and that's going to be made even bigger by the mega health he's just collected. He's got the plasma trail ready to go. This is going to be hard to stop.
Yeah, similar to the problems we saw earlier they had against Stacked. It just seemed like nobody was there for the power-up. It was all Team Liquid. There was no fight for it.
But they're winning the fights even before DreamHack gets there. So, I mean, who's going to be there to stop him? He's going to get in and take that clean double. And now they've got that 60%. I know the protection's going to run out, but he's still got a huge stack as well.
Yeah, they're doing a good job. And the plasma trail, yeah, there he comes. I was like, he can still deny the area. Yep.
Oh, I mean, Sen did what he could, but that plasma trail bot mode gets sent off the map. See you later, mate. And just an ounce of percentage left for Team Wicked to take this one. It's been a fantastic round for them, and I mean, this is their map to win, really.
Yeah, confidence got to be sky high right now. They can smell that sweet money.
Looks like they're going to try and converse into Hang, surviving just long enough to get one more rocket on deck, but here comes Rafa to defend from behind. Waz as well, and I mean, it's just looking impossible to crack into the defense of Team Liquid.
Yeah, we've seen this several times from them in this tournament where they lock in and it's like, geez, what do you do? I mean, they get into several positions. You see, they got two guys. They got a guy in each hall there to shoot on. You know, they try to keep guys on top, and then not to mention mix that with the great individual play and talent that they have. And man, it's really hard.
I mean, you've just got Rafa and DreamHack on lineup, which are already world-class duelers. So if you're trying to play Sacrifice and you've got to 1 versus 1 Rafa, I mean, that is scary.
Yeah, it is.
But at the same time, it's just, you said, right, coordination. It is their ability to work as a complete unit. They're covering all these different angles, but then the defense coming through from Rafa and DreamHack on the point itself, you're having to duel DreamHack for the obelisk, and that is a scary feat in itself.
And I think Waz is, don't underestimate Waz either. He's quite the duelist himself, even though he's mostly in team play right now. So he's highly talented.
His aim is putting that into good use.
Yeah. Oh man.
Hang with the quad, but of course, you're not going to be able to reduce your damage, so if enough focus goes down in you, it will disappear quite quickly. HB with the quad now. Gets hit by 1 rail, so got to be so careful. Wow, 144, still alive, Sen! I mean, he was on borrowed time after that 144 shotgun.
Oh man, this is looking like they're going to close this out in this round. Quad is still up, plenty of time. Yep, there it is.
There we go, it's a match point for Team Liquid. They're looking so insanely unchallenged. I mean, Unlovables, they're doing what they can, but realistically, it's the sheer level of teamwork that we're seeing from Team Liquid. We saw it yesterday, we're seeing it today. I don't know if anyone can stop them. I don't know if anyone in the world can stop this team right now.
Yeah, it seems to be their tourney to lose at this point. I mean, everything's there for them right now. The championship is right in their hands. All they need to do is close the show.
I mean, if they lose these frags that early, it's not going to be the end of the world. The frags really start to matter around the 15-second mark. You've got to be there on the 20-second mark to fight for the soul. And if you're not, then, well, it just became a lot more difficult for you and your team to get it. But look at the double coming through. Rafa with the gauntlet and the bull rush, and they've gone off with the drop. This is kind of scary, and here comes KGB from behind. This is a fantastic start for Team Liquid.
Yeah, and again, getting that Obelisk B, I firmly believe this is the better Obelisk to have due to the amount of health, the heavy armor. It's just a better spot to have. There's not as much health on the other Obelisk, and even the mega health is there. It's in an exposed area. You gotta leave your defensible area.
Now the quad damage goes in favor of CCAP. He's going to have to be a little bit careful, but here come the nails. Big damage incoming.
Yeah, nice play there, but again, he's got, oh man.
I mean, it's one of the juiciest weapons to have quad damage for, 100%. But they have been able to sort of temporarily seize the soul away. It's a minimal lead for Team Liquid on 19%. That can be, wow, swiftly dealt with. And that was, I've got to say, that was a very impressive rampage. And it just continues until the bitter end. CCAP keeping that quad for the entire duration. Fantastic stuff.
Now, can they capitalize on that great frag run of CCAP and get some defense here? That's the big thing. It counts for nothing if they just steal the soul back.
And it's been their problem, isn't it? You know, their issue has been being able to keep the soul for any prolonged amount of time. Team Liquid, their coordinated assault, as you can see right now, it's just so on point. They only have it about 15% or so, and then it instantly goes in the hands of Liquid again.
And going back to what you're saying about the combat, the team DM aspect of it, the fragging aspect of it, they just cleared out the enemy base right there. Right? I mean, there was no Unlovables left to defend. They just killed everybody.
And now, here comes that iron defense coming through for another time. I actually like the distance of Sen. You know, if you can sort of like control that rail, you've got a nice amount of vision at the back, and it did get put to good use right there. They just need to get out alive, and I mean, bot mode, he's taken so much damage. If he gets out, I'll be very surprised. But hang on a minute, Waz tries to go in for the pummel and just at the wrong range. That is some guaranteed nails, and we might now see a soul drop off.
Yeah, it looked like they might have been watching Waz from earlier games, watching out for him to be sitting there at the pummel.
I mean, that's definitely his favorite weapon, right? It has to be. Getting chased by a Doom guy, but I don't know if he's actually going to be able to sort of like go behind enemy lines. So many members of Liquid there to defend him.
Oh,
nice rail, fantastic.
That was a good steal by Waz. Even though it's short-lived, still, it's keeping Unlovables from really getting any defense going. And again, they just recapped it.
Ooh, kind of looked like Rafa actually mistimed the ball rush by half a second. Unfortunately, if he did it a little bit later, of course, would have gone straight into the quad and turned anyone into pace, but punished heavily, and now it's going to go in the favor of Unlovables in due time. But Sen will only last so long. Obviously, you can't reduce your damage, but he's getting a good pick off on Waz. Can he defend long enough? Rafa goes down too. Yep, KGB's not looking at him, so that's going to be uncontested frags also.
Again.
Oh, he's alive!
Really just they're not getting, even though when they get the quad, they can't get much off of it.
I mean, they're getting frags, but the frags aren't enough to stop the soul from moving towards the obelisk they don't want it to be at.
Yeah, the frags you want is when the soul's on your obelisk and you're killing the enemy all around and clearing the place out. Those are the frags you want.
But I feel like, you know, Team Liquid, they've played Sacrifice so much, they are so heavily experienced in this mode for now. I mean, a huge thing you're going to do as a team is, how do we deal with the power-up when it's not in our hands? You know, what is our strategy?
Yeah, and clearly Liquid's very good with their defense.
And I just feel like it's just climbing piece by piece. It's looking so hard. Unlovables, I mean, that 16% they're able to achieve at the very beginning, it's all they've done so far, but Liquid, it's climbing further and further. 30% will put them as the champions, but I mean, they look so unstoppable. I don't know if Unlovables have it in them to get a push necessary and a defense long enough.
Yeah, they're just, I mean, you just see the kill feed many times, although it looks like they may get something here. Can they get to hang down? Yeah, okay, so they probably will get a steal here, but again, can they get it to their base and make something happen?
That's the thing, right? You know, you score a frag on the obelisk, the enemy team is actually going to spawn probably closer to your obelisk than you are, so they get that extra shot to meet you in the middle, and that's exactly what they're trying to do. They close in on Rafa, and they do manage to score a double. Unlovables have made some insane defenses throughout this tournament. Unfortunately, they've got no other choice but to do it again. But if Tahang can drop this off, actually he have enough time to fight for this power-up too, in 10 seconds.
Does. So now we're getting to that point where Unlovables might want to think either you go all in for this power-up or do you try to steal?
Oh, KGB just gets denied to hang too.
Oh, no. Now they got protection. Waz.
Oh, dearie me.
It's Waz with protection. Oh, jeez.
I think they use the time of him getting protection to try and take the soul. The question is, will they be able to actually get it out? I think actually you can see them not really moving. They're trying to maybe waste the time of the protection, but either that or maybe they just don't want to bump into him. Waz, he's sitting pretty in the middle of this map just in case they try and pass it.
He knows they're going to throw it off like they were, or this is just a good example. Liquid's paying attention to these other teams. They're not just over there taking a nap while these other games are going on. They're watching, and so they were clearly ready for that.
But then if you communicate that the soul has been manually reset, obviously for those that may not know, you can actually throw the soul off the map and it forces it to restart into the middle of the map. Team Liquid really forcing that guaranteed fight in the middle. If they win the fight, their reward is the soul, and of which they've dropped it off because of their just sheer level of communication. And here comes KGB, rip and tear with the Doom Slayer. Bot mode goes down as well. Can he get one more? Kane also drops.
Some great work here by KGB. Liquid's looking like they're gonna close this out. 92%. Got it back on their obelisk. 94. This is desperation time for Unlovables.
I mean, it's going to be 3%, right? That's going to send them out. The off-map comes through as well. Will Team Liquid have enough percentage left? 2%. I mean, can you prevent Team Liquid from sitting on the point for like 2 seconds? I don't think so.
Yeah, it's looking like a wrap to me.
They're doing what they can. Waz has dropped it off. It's going to be 1 more %. Is that going to be sufficient? And it will indeed. Team Liquid will be your champions of DreamHack Denver. Fantastic stuff. They went into this as the favorites through sheer dominance, and it was that exact dominance that put them as today's champions.